We're here at Donington Park for the 2000 WTCS Sprint Race. As the lights go out and away we go, the Skoda of Thifantan gets away cleanly as Jos Everts follows behind in second, Alex Mancinelli in third. Alex Mancinelli goes for a move, but he can't make it stick, and they've spun. Both cars have spun. The number 1 and number 2 have spun, allowing the 6 and 7 Ford Mondeos to gain tons of positions alongside the rest of the field. Full course yellow has just been called out, however, and Evan Party definitely looks frustrated with Bavona for overtaking him under full course yellows. What an exciting start to this race. We see the cars coming around now, just trying to sort themselves out. I think we still have quite the kerfuffle back there as we get the safety car deployed graphic on our screen right now. The field back there still trying to sort themselves out just a little bit. Not entirely sure on positions. Here is a replay of the incident, however. Alex Mancinelli tapping the rear quarter panel of Jos Everts. Jay Kirkham swerving away from the incident, trying to take evasive action. It seemed a lot of people went off there trying to avoid the parked Primera in the middle of the road. Now this is the onboard with Jos Everts. Coming up to turn 1 here, he is following right alongside the Skoda of Thifantan. However, he goes a little bit deep and just gets a tap by Alex Mancinelli, which sends him spinning, and now he became a sitting duck until a little bit of room opened up and he was able to spin the car back round and get it going again. Now this is from Alex Mancinelli's perspective on the incident. Mancinelli drafting behind both of them, swerves right, just hits that quarter panel and can't keep control of the car of himself. It's an honest mistake from Mancinelli, but one the champion shouldn't be making. Now on the rear bumper of Thifantan. We'll see how close Alex Mancinelli got to his rear bumper. And wow, it is just centimeters between the both of them. I mean, absolutely insane how Thifantan was not a part of that wreckfest lap 1. Safety car is ending now. So the green flags will be waving soon enough, and it will be time to get underway. As Thifantan gets a good start. However, there's a slower start for Ausrim Kunas, allowing the Toyota to catch up to the pair, and now they're 3 wide coming into turn 1. This is going to get feisty here as Jorge Caro is even trying to mount a move on the Skoda. We'll see if that works out. As Evan Party is still mounting a fight on Ausrim Kunas into the downhill section here, as he actually manages to get by. They're still side by side here, coming down into the old hairpin. We'll see who comes out in front is currently Evan Party, but he loses the position on the switchback. They are both side by side now. Again, Ausrim Kunas just slightly ahead as they come into the slow right-hander. Now we're on with Jorge Caro and the Skoda of Thifantan coming into the fast right-hander uphill. And wow! Jorge Caro, the Conquistador, manages to stick it with centimeters to spare. What a move by Jorge Caro, sending it down the inside there. Will he be able to keep it into the chicane against Thifantan? Yes, he can. They both break on time as Thifantan really abusing the suspension of the Skoda there, hitting the sausage curve. We are now on the rear bumper of Jorge Caro. We will see how close it gets here into turn 1 as he drafts alongside, trying to take the outside line here. Maybe he's going for a switchback move. As he drafts alongside, they are alongside coming into the downhill section now. Jorge Caro fighting Thifantan furiously. As, oh! They get a little bit of side-by-side contact now, and Jorge Caro is sent deep into the corner. Jorge Caro has lost the rear of the car and is sent spinning into the grass, but he has kept it on the track. He's definitely going to lose the position to Ausrim Kunas and potentially to the Toyota of Agatina Bavona now, coming in to the slow right-hander. He's sticking around the outside of that Toyota MRS, and he manages to keep it going. Thankfully only losing one position there in that incident. That was quite the feisty incident between them. As we see the Mazda of Leonidas Buyo stopped after an incident at the last chicane. Now following Jos Everts as he tries to make his way through the field after a nasty collision at the start. Oh! The Skoda of Przemysl Pilch has spun and hits Jos Everts. It's gone from bad to worse for Josh. He manages to keep it going, but that is not going to be good, as even the Volkswagen of Elliot Vega is now mounting a move onto him in the old chicane. We are now on board already for a replay with Jos Everts. Let's see what happened here. Coming into turn 1. He gets a little bit slidey on the rear himself, and he just cannot avoid the wall that is the Skoda, just reversing at such a fast pace. I wouldn't say reversing, he probably just slid back due to the angular momentum of those tires. Very unfortunate. Jos Everts now coming into the pit lane to retire from the race. Alex Mancinelli trying to mount a move on the 2 cars ahead of him, Mancinelli and Gene Hayes. Alex Mancinelli manages to pass the green BMW of Gene. However, he's still fighting Mancinelli into turn 1. He manages to make the move stick for now. However, Mancinelli is not going to let it slide, and he manages to stick alongside. They are now side by side coming into the downhill section. Mancinelli even getting a little bit more ahead. He is now fully ahead as the Honda was yielding in front of them. Mancinelli now getting through the old hairpin section. Will he be able to keep in front of the Alfa Romeo? Getting a little bit feisty here as they get a little bit of a love tap from Alex Mancinelli. Coming in slow right-hander now. Let's see if he can make it stick. Oh, Alex Mancinelli does get past. And that's him through Mancinelli for what looks like the foreseeable future. Now on board with Mancinelli as Party has gone deep into the corner and touched Alex Mancinelli. Alex Mancinelli getting a bad exit after going deep, being forced by Party, and he's able to once again reclaim his position. I thought that fight was over, but it just keeps kicking, it seems, as he goes deep into the corner and hits Evan Party. Evan Party manages to slow it down, but he is definitely voicing his opinion on that incident. He seems as though he was very mad at that incident. Mancinelli goes wide into the grass, and Alex Mancinelli keeps that position while Mancinelli drops 2. Evan Party now on the Vauxhall of Charlie Jemison. He's going to be fighting. Now Jorge Caro, the conquistador, against Auzrim Kunas. Let's see how this battle turns out. Jorge Caro following behind, trying to get some draft. Not leaving that rear bumper as they come into the chicane here. Very nicely done, not hitting those lethal sausage curbs like the Skoda Octavia of Thifantan just laps ago. Now coming into turn 1, Jorge Caro is going to dive down the inside. What a move. They're now side by side as, Auzrim Kunas goes off the track. They managed to keep it side by side, however, into the downhill section. This is amazing racing so far. Auz just losing the rear end a little bit there. Manages to keep it going though. Will he try the switchback that he tried on Party a few laps ago? He won't, but he will try to draft along the left-hand side here. It's not going to bode well into the slow right-hander. That's going to be the outside line coming into here as Jorge Caro manages to keep the position for now. However, they're still drafting alongside each other. Even Auzrim Kunas is ahead going into the fast uphill right-hander. Jorge Caro manages to stick it with a little bit of contact, and they're still side by side onto the back straight. Who is going to come out on top in this battle here? You would assume it's going to be Jorge Caro on the inside line into the chicane. He will have to yield Auzrim Kunas. Now we're on board with Auzrim Kunas. He does yield to the car of Caro as he just dips a tire into the grass. It's not going to be the best for his exit speed here, but he still picks up the draft, which is going to help him regain some of that speed he has just lost on exit. He tries to fake a move, but nothing is phasing Caro at the moment. He is sailing ahead. Now, battle between 4 cars here is emerging. Alex Mancinelli trying to get the Honda of Jacob Ordonez. Alex Mancinelli trying to mount a move, goes on the outside. Tries to stick it to the outside. Barely manages to. He loses the rear just a little bit. A little snap that's going to allow the 2 cars behind of Charlie Jemson and Evan Party to group up to him. Charlie Jemson following extremely closely behind. He is sniffing that rear bumper. And there's contact between them. Alex Mancinelli has been sent. The champion is into the grass and into the wall. No, he keeps it going, but he is out of that battle for now. As it stands, an even Mancinelli has passed him once again, as well as Gene Hayes. The battle between the 3 still continue though. Evan Party lurking behind the 2 as he gets a little bit slidey. Charlie Jemson, they're now alongside. And Evan Party is going to dive down the inside here and manages to make the move stick for now. Onto the back straight. These cars cannot be separated. Evan Party is drafting behind Jacob Ordonez, trying to see if there's any space to move over to the right. He manages to keep it behind for now, as does the Vauxhall. Coming through the final chicane, they keep it clean. Evan Party, Charlie Jemson drafting very close behind here. Evan Party's going to take an aggressive inside line, whilst Charlie Jemson's going to take an outside line, and they both overtake Jacob Ordonez into turn 1. What an amazing move by both drivers. As the Vauxhall keeps it ahead, or keeps behind, sorry, through this corner down to the downhill now. Just a little tap by Charlie Jemson. Oh! Charlie Jemson has gone deep and into the gravel now. As we're now on Gan Hayes. Sorry, I've been saying Gene Hayes. It's Gan Hayes. Fighting Menno Menacandan here, but the looming threat is going to be Alex Mancinelli. Slowing these 2 drivers down by battling. Alex Mancinelli is already... Ooh! As there's contact between them now twice. Will there be a 3rd time? There is a 3rd time! And it's spun round. Gan Hayes. What an unfortunate result for the BMW there. I mean, he was fighting so great in the midfield, and he's just lost what seems to be 4 or 5 positions now. Very unfortunate for the BMW, who was looking so good on his debut. Charlie Jemson trying to make a move on Gan, though. Hayes is managing... Ooh! A little bit of contact through the chicane. Hayes is still managing to keep the position for now. Charlie Jemson is going to try to recoup some of the losses from that earlier incident we observed between him and Evan Party. Oh, as he gives him a little bit of a tap. That's going to send Hayes into the grass, and Charlie Jemson is going to be able to clear him quite easily. This is on Jacob Ordonez, his POV, as Alex Mancinelli comes careening across his front bumper. I mean, it's amazing how he avoided him there. Let's see Charlie Jemson's POV now. He just taps Alex Mancinelli just a little bit in the braking zone. Nowhere he could really go. It's just a quite unfortunate collision. And wow, look at how close they came. I think his left fender even just slightly grazed the Alfa Romeo before exiting the track. But now we are on board with the Skoda of Thifantan. I mean, he's done such an excellent job all race. He's just got to see it through these final few corners, and he will be our WTCS 2000 Sprint Champion. What an amazing performance from him, as he seems to be slowing down a little bit. What has happened to the Skoda as Jorge Caro makes it by? As he ran out of fuel, he pulls off to the side. He has lost first place in the final sector with only 3 corners remaining. What has happened to Thifantan? This is going to give Jorge Caro the win. What has just happened? We're going to view replay footage from right now. Thifantan on the Skoda. Coming into the final corner here. Does he dump the clutch or something? No, it does seem like he runs out of fuel. Very unfortunate. Shifting down to first gear without shifting to neutral is definitely hurting his ability to get to the end there. But I doubt with the long stretch he had ahead of him, he was going to make it anyways. Jorge Caro, this is his onboard at the moment of passing Thifantan. Jorge Caro now coming through the final corners after that chaotic fuel loss in the last few corners to claim his maiden win for the Blue Ridge outfit. What an amazing drive by Jorge Caro. Despite the unfortunate circumstances of Thifantan, it was an amazing race he drove and a great recovery. But there's still action in the midfield here. Mano Manikandan against Premizel Pilch. Coming up here, Mano Manikandan still claiming the position. However, he sends it a little bit deep into this corner, it seems, and he's gonna touch the gravel. He's gonna lose the position to the Skoda. Manages to keep it. Ooh, as he just goes deep again, Mano Manikandan. He was given a second chance and he's lost it again. That's caused the Renault to slow down now as the BMW of Hayes is gonna be able to overtake all three cars. What an amazing comeback for Hayes. I mean, he was unfortunately stricken just laps ago. And oh! Vega's been spun around in the final corner. Vega has lost numerous positions to Mano Manikandan's sloppy performance. And Hayes manages to come out on top during that fight. As we see the Nissan Primera of Richard Stein coming around. I think this is Simon Darkstar, or more commonly known as Simon Pavlik, getting past that BMW Works team car. Richard Stein, it was a good race for him. He could have gone better though, as he's finishing down in the lower positions. Definitely not going to be a race he's going to look back on too fondly, but still great to make it home, unlike his teammate. An amazing performance from him nonetheless.